Hello and welcome to Moonbeam Jellyfish. I'm Emily and I'm super glad that you're here. I decided to paint this little guy in today and I'm going to be using these Caran Neocolor II. They're water-soluble crayons. I've used them before, but usually I use them with watercolors, and I thought this would be kind of a fun little experiment. And this is like a smooth paper. One of the reasons I don't like using them with like hot press paper or cold press paper, excuse me, is because you see the texture and I don't always like that. So I'm hoping on this paper, which this is just my Moonbeam Jellyfish Sketchbook Guild sketchbook, so it should be okay. I won't use a ton of water because it could buckle and stuff. I do have like a protective piece of like watercolor paper underneath it so it won't soak through. I've done, like I showed you, just a few little kind of sketchy, kind of practicing a little bit with some colors. And then I think I might also bring in a little bit of watercolor metallic at the end potentially. So we'll see how far I get in this video. And we're just gonna kind of hop to it. I'm just going to kind of color in first and then bring in some water because I want some of the colors to kind of mush together. That's my hope anyway. So let's just see what's up. I'm just kind of throwing some colors at it. I haven't really 100% decided what I'm going to do. So we're just going to see how it goes. I'm just feeling, I know it, like, I feel like it's a fish, right? So there's so many different colors of fish and stuff, so I feel like sky's kind of the limit. It's just if I want them to blend together, I have to use two colors that are friends. Let me zoom in a little bit here. You don't want to use colors that are like opposite on the color wheel because then they might get mushy. They could turn like just brown or get like really muted, and sometimes you don't want that. So that's not what I want today anyways. There is a time and a place for that. Sometimes if I want to mute a green a little bit, if I'm like doing foliage or something, flowers, I will put just a tiny bit of red because it makes the green look a little bit more natural, kind of depending on what shade I have chosen. I've also used blue. I'll have to show you my sea corn. I don't think I've shown anybody that yet. I used a little bit of blue, I think it was blue, in the orange or like the corally color to put in some shadows. Again, it's my sketchbook, so although I did do the sea corn on actual watercolor paper, but it was an exercise in trying to figure out different things and colors and stuff that I might want to try. So let me see here, green, and I'll test here. I just kind of lay some of one color down. I want to see what these two colors do. Just got a little bit of water, kind of activate. Oh, that's pretty. Kind of like an aqua color. Ooh, I like it. I like it. And what I think I might do is actually bring in a little bit more of the green, and then I'll layer it a little bit more because I don't want it to get too blue. I feel like having a little extra green will help. We're gonna find out, aren't we? And I did already put the ink over this, and I just used a permanent liner so that it shouldn't bleed. I say that. I just kind of want to stay within the tail right now. And I'm hoping to get like a blend, a nice little blend out. That's my hope. And I'm going to color just a little bit into the green as well. I think I will make this, the drawing page, available for you on my Patreon. It should be there by the time this video comes out. So if you want to check that out, please do. And got a couple brushes off to the side. Oh, I might use my large one. I've got my number 16 splatter. So it's definitely working better than it did on that paper. So that's nice. go into that blue. And then I'm going to dab off my brush a little bit, get a little bit more water. And then kind of bring some of that out. And I can layer these as well if it gets a little bit too one color or another. If I don't really like how it's blending, I can layer them and bring some back in. So that's nice. But I want it kind of to stay green there towards the tip of the fin. So I'm trying to make sure I'm not going all the way up with the color, the blue color. Move to a smaller one here, a little bit more control. This fin kind of reminds me of a butterfly wing, actually, now that I just kind of looked at it from the sideways. I felt like this might be a fun alternative to like breaking out the watercolors, because I use watercolors quite a bit. So I was like, oh, if I could use these, that'd be kind of fun. Change it up a bit. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you have ever worked with these. I have another brand that I just got that I was going to maybe use as well to kind of see which ones I liked better, but it didn't really have the colors that I liked, so I didn't want to use it. I'll use it, maybe do like a comparison video some other time. That's pretty. Again, I might go over it again, but I do kind of like how it looks. And now let me think here. What color do I want to make his body? I think I might actually do pink and orange, maybe with a tiny bit, or a pink and yellow with some orange, and kind of try to make maybe a corally color, because I don't want to just do orange. I'm going to go in with pink first, I think. And I don't think I'm going to color those in, the little scalies yet. I think I'm going to kind of go around those for now. I'm not pushing super hard, especially because I'm going to layer. And I think I am going to color this whole part in, though, for the most part, with the pink, and then layer over it. Again, I'm kind of avoiding some of these little scale areas. Obviously, the more like you press down, the more you're going to put of the crayon, so you'd get more color on the page. Like I said, I kind of want to see if I can't get a little bit of a coral color in some of the areas. A little bit of orange, maybe. Let's see what that does. So I go over a few times to really get that activated. And I can kind of bring it up and then down into here. And if I want to kind of keep some of that orange out, I can get it wet, kind of dab it off a little bit, and then kind of start back with the pink first and activate that first so that the brush doesn't get dirty with the orangey color first. Probably using a flat brush would be better, so I don't get those little streaks. I don't use my flat brush very often. I don't think about it very much. Oh my gosh, this one has blue in it. What a day. I hadn't really planned on recording today, and I was like, no, I want to do this fish. And I was like, oh, I can just bring you along since I'm kind of using something I don't use very often. You can kind of see how it works out. And I am not prepared. I feel like it'll make it less streaky. Yeah. You'll have to start trying to use my flat brushes a little bit more often. For this part, that little fin, maybe this time I'll start with the blue on the tip and use the green closer. Let's try it out. Let's just see. And I just did it backwards. Oh, Lanta. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully you'll stick around and try this cute fish too. Just know that I'm doing my best to salvage a day that has been very rough. I think we've all been there. Okay. I think we've all been there. So by the time this video comes out, it will be July, which is absolutely insane. And if you haven't seen any of my lives, this month of July's theme for the guild is Enchanted Garden Tea Party, and my adorable little mushroom girl Jubilee is the host, and she has sent everyone an invitation on my Patreon, so you can go check that out if you're interested. You never have to be, you know, you can still draw with me, obviously, and join me on my lives and stuff. You certainly don't have to be a member in order to just hang out with me. But I have a lot of fun worksheets and sketchbook trackers. We're going to decorate a teacup together, but that will probably have already happened by the time you see this video. So you'll have to, I'll link that somewhere, either at the end of the video or in the description box. So you can check that out if you want. I got a lot of blue, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe off some of that. Wipe my brush off so I don't get a ton into the green, because I don't want it to take away all of the green. And then I'm going to kind of go this direction, kind of the same direction as the scales as well. I like that kind of, it makes it kind of flow that way, since I went this way to help blend it a little bit better, which I did think worked better. Little finnies down here as well. Could do one orange or one yellow and one pink. Maybe I'll try that, one yellow and one pink. If you do create your own, I would love to know what colors you used. And as always, you can tag me on Instagram. Also, let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in me starting like a Facebook or a Discord or something where we could, you guys could share all of your paintings and drawings and stuff together, like as a little community. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. And I may end up bringing just a tiny bit of one of the other colors into these after I paint them. For now, I'm just going to paint them the one single color and see what I think. I like these. This is what's fun about creating drawings and then just outlining them in advance. It's like you're creating your own little color page. And I think that can be super fun, especially at times when I don't want to like super like overthink things or whatever. I can just kind of get lost in the process, and that can be fun. Ooh, that's nice. More. I can go right up to that edge there. I kind of like that. Rinse my brush, my other little brush, so I can go in and maybe smooth some of that out. Like basically you're doing the wet on wet method, like with watercolors, so that's kind of cool. think I might bring in a little bit of this like yellowy orange color down at the bottom of the fin here. Oh, I like that. Just flick some up and then down. Yeah, I kind of like that. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'll do this one. Oh, it's still kind of wet, so it actually went on really smooth. Yeah, that's nice, like butter. Gotta love the butter. And then I'll add a little bit up here too, I think. It's like I'm going to be introducing another color. I'm like, should I be introducing another color? It's like, well, I don't know, maybe. I could always make the eyeballs purple. Something completely different than what would normally be. And I'm going to keep the purple away from the orange, though, because they're not friends. And what I'll do is bring in maybe some of that blue, because blue and purple are friends. Blue and orange aren't 100% friends, but I don't plan on mixing them too much anyways. I could have used green probably instead. Just add a little bit of green. Get enough water kind of to activate it, and then also be able to spread it fairly quickly. Dab off a little bit so I don't have all that red or pink on there. Can actually kind of dot in, like drop in some of that color as well. That's kind of cool. Might add maybe some yellow here instead. That might be a little bit better. Just cleaning my brush off. And then I can actually bring in a little bit more of the pink here as well, just to help blend the yellow again with a little bit of that pink. Switch brushes, and I'm going to go up to the top of the head there. And I'm actually going to put more yellow right there. Oh no, I forgot this part. Maybe I'll use this pink and then the yellow again. I'll start with the pink this time. And I think I am going to go ahead and color the eye purple, because you know what? I can do what I want. Oh, goodness. It's going to look a little crazy, and that's okay. Maybe I'll do one purple, one blue. I need something to be just zany and wacky today. And the beauty of having it be in a sketchbook is like, oh, if I really wanted to, you know, make a sticker or something like that out of him, then I'd be like, oh, I tried this crazy design or crazy colors, crazy art supply. And then if you can be like, oh no, I don't like that at all. I'm gonna put the blue and the green in this one. Oh, that would have been better probably. Make one blue, one green. That's fine. If you've been here before, you'll know that half the time I don't have a plan. It's the no plan. Oh, goodness. Okay, this one has a little bit more of a point. It's a number 10 round Princeton Aqua Elite. Princeton is one of my favorite brushes, like brush brands, if you will. I have lots of brushes, but I do tend to gravitate to my Princeton brushes the most, I'd say. I'm just bringing some of that blue up there. just to give it that more aqua turquoisey feel. My paper's buckling a little bit, so I'm just hanging on to it over here. And I think I might bring some of the blue into the purple too, so that way they both have some blue. You'll have to let me know, like, what do you do when you're having a rough day, a rough time? I ended up working on my design for my sketchbook tracker. Like I said, that will already be out by the time this video is out, and I was enjoying that, but I just was like, I just need to actually put crayon to paper and not be working on that today. And I'm glad I did. This is in a lot of ways a lot more artistic, I guess. I mean, I'm quite artistic whenever I create my little trackers too, but it's just different because I do that on the computer. And my computer is one of the things that's been making it rough today. So I'm like, I just want to be on it right now. Oh, I kind of like that. The two different color eyes. I know the lighting can sometimes be weird. Hopefully you can see that. Too cute. The only thing I'll say about the crayons is it's hard to get into like little tiny pieces or like little places. But I think I'm going to make the lip, his little lip, I'm going to make it look with a little bit of pink on it. Oh, I just dabbed off a little bit there so I didn't have too much water. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious. Hilarious. I think I'm going to dry it and then be able to go back in a couple of areas to strengthen them a little bit, and then I'll be back. Okay, that's all dry. Now I'm going to maybe kind of try to do a little bit of a second layer in a few spots, especially where I feel like it's a little streaky maybe. I don't love that. I might actually go ahead and bring in a little bit of this pinky color here. I feel like that greenish color kind of got it a little bit muddy. I don't like that. Add a little bit more up here too. And we'll see what happens. I always kind of dab it off so I make sure that it's not like drenched. And then I can always grab a little bit more if I feel like I need it. And then I'm going to switch to one of my smaller round brushes just for this little area here. Going to bring in a little bit more of that blue and then maybe a little bit more of that purple as well. And I'm just kind of touching the tip of my brush. I have to be kind of careful where that orange and purple might meet so it doesn't get muddy. I got the reference for him on Etsy. I did not make him up myself, just so you know. Just will kind of rinse my brush off if I've picked up a lot of that pigment so that I'm not totally dragging it into the other areas that I don't want it to go into. And I'm going to put a little bit more blue. And I'm just kind of painting on to the crayon. There we go. Now I'm getting a little bit more of that pink, and I'm going to just drop that in, just touching with the very tip of my brush. And I'm just going to kind of let it do what it wants to do. Kind of looks like it's some more scales. I'll add some more back here, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring in a little bit more of that purple as well, just so I can kind of brighten all of them up, kind of help them blend kind of naturally. I'm going to add a little bit more pink. And again, you don't even have to activate these. You can literally just color with them like over each other, which I could actually, maybe I'll do that too. Because then you can bring back some of the vibrancy without bringing any water. But it will stay, if you haven't activated it, if you had like happen to get it wet or like get water splattered on it or something, it will reactivate or it will activate any area that you have not activated yet. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to bring in Posca markers, I believe, for some of the in-between areas and for the black in the eye. And never like push the nib down while on your drawing. It can release the paint, and let me tell you, I have done that, and it is a tragedy if you can't fix it, and sometimes I couldn't. So be careful. The size and nib I use always just depends on the size of the area, obviously. I'm sure that makes sense. Got a little wonky down here, so I'm just gonna kind of try to fix that a little bit. See, as soon as that eye gets colored in, it's like bam. And normally whatever you do on one eye, you're supposed to do on the other eye. So since that one's on that side, this one has to be on this side. Or it can make things look cross-eyed, which I feel like would totally work for this fish anyway. Oh boy. I think he's my spirit animal right now. This is crazy as I feel today. Oh, I might bring in some colored pencils. Do I want to do that, or do I want to just do Posca, or do I just want to use these? Maybe I'll just use these to make it super easy. I just won't activate them again. Just go in and kind of color with them. Just can kind of get some blending in this way as well, which is kind of cool. Oh, I like it. I don't think I've ever felt worse after working on art than I did like before I started. I mean, there are times I'll work on something that doesn't seem like it's working out and can be frustrating, but for the most part, I always feel better after an art session. It feeds the soul. At least for me, it does. I feel like I think about art all the time. I'm always thinking of ideas. Yeah, it's kind of punching up the vibrancy too, I think. And since this is in a sketchbook, I'm not super worried about it getting wet again. And I don't really worry about it transferring onto the other page either. Now, I have in sketchbooks, when I'm worried about that, depending on what I'm using, I'll put like a clear piece of like parchment paper or something, or like a piece of transfer paper, just to protect whatever's on the other side. So I'll have to, I don't remember exactly what's on the other side. It might be Jubilee. So I may end up doing that just to make sure that it doesn't keep transferring to the back of the page since I'm not activating it. I'll have to kind of play with that and see what's up. These are fun. Like I said, I've never really used them in this capacity. I've always just used them with watercolors. I like it. I love how bright they are. I didn't know what to expect. I may activate the tail a little bit because this crayon was still kind of damp, so it came out a lot like thicker. We'll see here. Oh, that's fancy. I gotta turn my paper for a second. I'm sorry. It's easier for me to pull because of what I'm trying to do here. So I'm pushing the blue kind of back this way first to kind of fill in and make this part of the blue a lot richer. Kind of feeding it that direction. And then I can rinse my brush off a little bit and then pull out into the green. Yeah, my paper is definitely buckling a little bit, which I knew that it would, so not a huge deal. I definitely like using the flatter brush more. So note to self, I do want to put shadows in. Oh, I don't know if I want to use these. It's kind of scary. But I think I might. I'll just use kind of a light, like a gray here. And I won't push down really very hard because I don't want to put a ton of crayon on. Be kind of gentle with it. And this would probably be a good time to even bring in colored pencils as well. I just don't have them right here next to me, so I figure just make it easy. Or I do have some, but I'd have to dig them all out and pick the colors, blah, blah, blah. It's not that serious. This is working pretty good. Just want to get a touch of color because there would definitely be like shadows or highlights. Not everything would be white. Really where I want the color to be concentrated, I need to go towards that. So I want it to be more concentrated down here. And then I can kind of feather up from that other edge. It's probably hard to see, but there is a little bit of a shadow now. Oh, and then I also want to color in the inside of the mouth. He's like, looks like he just saw something. And he's like, what the heck? He's like, oh, what is that? Oh, I forgot the little ones down here at the bottom. Thought about doing those purple just to add one more area. So it's kind of balanced with a little purple there, a little purple there, a little purple here. Helps your eye kind of track all around the drawing. It's nice that you can just use your wet brush on the crayon itself too. That's kind of spiffy. And then I also forgot that I wanted to, even though the highlight is white, I still will color it in. I don't tend to just leave the white of the paper. And I'm going to add some other little highlights as well. I think I might put a little one here. So there'll be a little one right here. Oh my gosh, I just want to punch him directly in his face. Oh my gosh. Now I'm going to give him like all these little wispy hairs and stuff. So I have a couple of different line weights, if you will. This is a 0.7 millimeter Posca, and then these are, I have a 3 and a 4. That way they're not always super chunky necessarily. Okay. So I'm going to, because there is no color in the background, I might put some bubbles in, but I think I am going to use one of the black ones just to make some of these lines a little bit bolder. Not all of them, just a few. I've talked before about different line weights and things. Maybe just a couple of these kind of larger ones. And then I'll also bring in a little bit of white back. And I had already drawn a couple of whiskers. I should have probably waited because it's kind of faded and it's always hard to like trace over your line exactly the same again. So I'm going to do my best. Oh, and I'll have to use the Posca because of the waxiness. The Poscas are better than the liners, I think, in a lot of ways. And I'll make these just as dark so that way they match. And then I'll make a few other ones. I'm also going to go in here and bring back some of the scales. I'll use a little bit of black on some of them and then some white as well. Very, very doodly. You know, I like very illustrative, kind of doodly art. I'm gonna make this one a little darker too. Maybe this one too. So I really struggled using just the fine liners during this whole section because I didn't activate all of the crayon. So the waxiness of the crayon was making it really hard to use the liners within the actual fish. It was okay kind of off to the side around him, adding the little hairs. Also, you get what you pay for. These aren't like the best liners in the whole wide world or anything. Liners are a little bit expensive, so I'm just trying to make do with what I have. But if you are okay with a little bit of a heavier line within your fish, I definitely would recommend the Posca markers instead. Wasn't sure if I'd bring you along with me for the whole picture, just part of it, but it just worked out that I brought you along the whole time. I always worry about the length of videos. There's not like a magic number, I feel like, because some of my longer form videos get, you know, a lot of people like to watch them, and then sometimes it's the shorter ones. I guess we just can't please everybody, right? That's why I just keep creating what I want to create, and hopefully people like it too. I always like bringing in some highlights. Just putting a few little specks of highlights on some of these little guys. Give him a little highlight on his little lippy there. Oh my gosh. Like I said, I don't really like to leave just the white of the paper. So bringing in a little bit of a Posca, that breaks it up a little bit.
So off camera, I did go ahead and create some bubbles. I just used my circle template and then I colored them in with the crayons and then I just activated them with some water. And now I'm just adding a few little white Posca highlights in order to just make it look a little bit more like a reflection on a bubble. So I do like how it turned out. It just added a little extra, you know, pizzazz to the background.
There we go. I think that's pretty good. There. What do you think? He's pretty cute, huh? I'd be friends with him if he swam up to me sometime. I do have the metallic, but I don't think I'm going to use it. Maybe if I felt like it, I would put him in the bubbles, but that's just a lot. So I'm not gonna do that, at least not right now. So thank you for joining me. And like I said, if you want to also paint him, you can go to my Patreon. I really appreciate you guys being here and tuning in every week. It means so much to me, and I will see you very soon. Okay?